name is Rachel Peterson. I'm the Executive Director of the Minnesota Logger Education Program, which is a 501c3 nonprofit training organization. We provide all of the continuing education training for the loggers in the state of Minnesota. And by the numbers, loggers in Minnesota are required to take more hours of continuing ed every year than the lawyers in Minnesota are. So it isn't, it's not a regulatory program. It's strictly a training program. But because of certification, the certification standards that a lot of the lands and the mills are in compliance with for their products, there are standards requiring these guys to take a certain amount of training on a variety of topics to continue to be able to harvest on those properties and bid on sales, say for states or the state land or county lands, or sell wood to those wood using facilities. Well, MLEP's primary activities, like I said, are training for the logging industry, but we also are a very good resource for anyone in the forest industry, whether that's a private landowner or a logger or a forester. We maintain a very diverse website that has a lot of good information out there regardless of what kind of things you're looking for. The primary thing that is of interest a lot of times to private woodland owners that contact our office is our printed directory, the Forest Management Resource Directory. And it's out of date as soon as it's printed, just like any other printed material, but an electronic version of it is on our website, and it's searchable. You can search by county, you can search by the type of equipment that the logger owns and operates, you can search by name. If a private landowner had someone mention so-and-so is a good operator, but they don't know how to get a hold of them, or they don't really know if they work in that area, that landowner could go to our website and type his or her name in, the logger's name, into our directory and find out where they live and what kind of equipment they have. So that's a very good resource, and that's where a lot of private landowners really interact with me personally or with our organization personally. How do loggers and landowners interact is a little bit tougher question to answer because there's so many different levels that occurs at, or different ways that occurs in. And one of the things that I typically do as an example to put it in perspective is if you were going to build a house, as an example, you would go possibly to an architect or a company to have the house plans drawn up so that you would know where your kitchen, your bathroom, your bedrooms were going to be, how many square feet you wanted your house to be, where the windows were going to go, those kinds of things. And you would get that plan and you'd work very closely with them to decide what you wanted that to look like, and then you'd take that plan to a builder of some sort or a contractor, and they would make that piece of paper, the building on a piece of paper, become a building in reality. Well, if you think about that in terms of forest management or woodland management, your architect might be your forester, whether it's a consultant or a soil water conservation forester or whomever you're working with. They're going to help you design your plan for your property, meet your expectations. Do you want wildlife? Do you want recreation opportunities? Do you really just enjoy the scenic beauty of your property? Are you worried about invasive species? Whatever it is that is important to you on your property, that goes into that plan. Part of that plan may involve manipulating what's on your property or what's on the woodlot that you own. And to manipulate that, some of those activities you could do yourself as a landowner. Maybe it's cutting a little bit of firewood or clearing out some buckthorn that's in the south corner of your property. Some things like that most landowners could maybe take care of on their own and want to be involved that way. But there are, when you get into the bigger manipulations of forest cover or forest habitat or woodlands, you're talking about a timber harvest, whether that's a selective harvest, a thinning, a clear-cut harvest, and that's all based on the resource you have available on your property. What kinds of trees do you have? What is their biology? What do they require? And how old they are. Do they have disease or insect issues that you have to deal with? Anything that has to do with a bigger area like that is where a logger would come in. simply because it would be tough for any landowner to go out and harvest 40 acres and get it done in a reasonable amount of time to meet their expectations. So the logger is where the rubber meets the road in that situation, and you get the timber management accomplished to meet your expectations of your property and improve your property to meet your goals.